aside from media becoming politically divisive and people losing trust and credibility with their local media outlets, and for sure national media outlets, um, which is all the more pervasive today than it was even then. But there was this there was an opportunity to change how people consumed content locally. This content that they were being served was divisive. It was being consumed by private equity, like all the local newspapers. If you look around and you're seeing this, the newspaper that you get delivered maybe, or that you consume online, they have pivoted to a model where they're selling off to private equity groups just for sustainability. And when that happens, those private equity companies come in and they cut and gut the staff a lot of times. So that means that your education coverage locally goes away, sports coverage locally goes away, nonprofit coverage locally goes away. So you have this landscape changing. It's happened in the newspaper side. It's about to start happening more pervasively in the TV and broadcast side, where all these things are rolled up. But at the same time, what we're seeing is that content is being created in a more disparate manner, where everyone is a content creator today. My grandmother taking a picture and sharing it on her Instagram account downtown is user-generated content that sometimes is more effective in sharing about the local community than the local journalist's story that's hidden behind a paywall. So you got this journalist that writes about some school program that is shared on the local, only online on the local newspaper's website, that if you don't pay to subscribe, you can't even read it. So it maybe gets 500 people viewing it total. And then you got my grandmother over here who takes a picture of this program. She shares it on Instagram. It gets picked up and shared by a couple other more influential people locally. And now 30,000 people saw it. And it conveyed the message a lot more effectively. So what we recognized locally is that the legacy models were broken. There's an opportunity to capture content from user-generated content. Every business these days has its own PR that it's doing and needs to get its message out, whether you're an accounting firm talking about your business and the values and the culture and stuff to get people to work with you, or you are a nonprofit. Nonprofits all now have their own communication channels. Education, there's educational nonprofits that spin up that are become the voice for these educational initiatives. They're replacing the way that we consumed content historically. The newspaper used to talk at you. It used to tell you what's going on. Today, there is a dialogue that's happening, and it's happening in lots of different organizations. The problem that we recognized is that the algorithms from platforms like Facebook and Google and others so narrowly limit the content that you're served in your community. It's narrowed because it's identifying your preferences. So it says, okay, you follow these 10 organizations, you're just going to get these 10 organizations information. So my wife, who loves food and wine festivals, but is not Hispanic and doesn't follow the Hispanic Alliance, would never hear about the Hispanic Alliance's food festival. It just doesn't show up in her preference set. So we recognize that if we created a media entity that's digital in nature and opened up our social media listening, meaning paying attention to a broader scope of content locally, we could package all those snacks of information, deliver it every single morning via email in a 5-minute read, conversational in tone, opening up dialogue with our community and exposing people to ways they can participate more effectively locally. And we did that. And we did that so well that when we launched in Greenville, South Carolina, the need was so great from an advertiser perspective to connect in a more positive way locally and associate their brands with a more positive brand or distribution channel. We went out and we pre-sold $500,000 of advertising without even having a product. These folks came on, they supported the mindset and what we were trying to accomplish. We were able to put advertisers next to positive content in the community, driving economic impact, allowing them to convert where there's actual click-through and engagement in content. And it was a real win. And if you look at right now, the landscape in a community, Whether it's your school system, nonprofit, small business, everyone's creating content, but they don't have a good distribution vehicle. They can post their stuff to Facebook, they can post on their Insta handle or whatever, but it's only being distributed to their current following. We have been able to build out and establish a subscriber base of 50 to 100,000 readers per city that we operate in. And we have an equal number of people in social following. So if we go carry a local nonprofit story, we're putting out to 200,000 people today, not to the 2,000 that are in their mailing list. So we're able to go and sell out a nonprofit's event in 4 hours in the morning. We're able to drive participation and impact in boards, in charities, in giving, in a whole array of different things in each community. And that's where we've changed the game. So what is 6 a.m. City? 6 a.m. City today is the company that Ryan Johnston, our CEO and my co-founder and myself founded, which is a daily email newsletter product delivered at 6 a.m. every morning, delivering the most relevant, local, need-to-know news and events to make you a more effective participatory member of your community. We're driving economic impact. We share it. It's a 5-minute conversational read as if you and I were talking over dinner. It's a dialogue that you can respond to every single day. Our staff are designed and working in a manner to help you be a better citizen, to live locally better, to be the locavore type concept that people talk about, where you want to be part of your community. And we're seeing more and more of that with divisive politics and media, where people are focusing and honing in more on the communities that they live in and wanting to experience that. And so we're really kind of fitting in that gap and becoming this resource for people locally